In the early 1940s, Wisconsin led the country in production of hemp. However, it was essentially banned in the 70s. Our state is once again ramping up production of this crop, and lawmakers are trying to support the process. Victor Jacobo from Madison has the story.
We are on the midst of what I would call a green rush here in Wisconsin.
A bipartisan group of lawmakers touted the success of the state's hemp farming pilot program ahead of a public hearing at the Capitol.
People are seeing potential. They're seeing the opportunity to provide for their families, for our farm economy, all the research and innovation that's going to come along with this. I mean, I really firmly do believe that this is going to be a game changer for our state's economy.
In the program's first year, the state issued 247 growing licenses and 100 processor licenses. This year, applications soared, with more than 1,400 applying to be growers and nearly 700 applying to process.
Wisconsin was a leader in hemp, and this is really our opportunity to reclaim that legacy.
The bill, known as the Growing Opportunities Act, would align the state's programs with the federal guidelines included in the 2018 Farm Bill and transition it from a pilot program to a permanent crop.
Milwaukee used to be a farming community, and we still have land, so there's no reason that the land cannot be used.
Senator Lena Taylor of Milwaukee, one of the bill's authors, says this bill not only helps rural farming communities, but opens the door for urban opportunities as well.
I think that this is truly a mechanism upon which we can create major revenue streams.
Well, certainly after that 50-year break, there are a lot of questions about how to grow hemp. Lisbon Versey is an agriculture educator with the UW Extension in Brown County, and she's here for a conversation about just that. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So has there been a lot of interest in our local area in getting into the hemp market?
There definitely is. Statewide, there were over 2,100 applications this year, which is up by about 6 to 7 times the number of applications last year. One thing I like to tell people is that hemp is not marijuana, of course. They are two very distinctly different types of plants, part of the same family, and hemp has only 0.3% of that THC psychoactive component that gets you high. So you can't get high off of hemp, which is, a misconception.
And that kind of leads into the good neighbor conversation, because you mentioned if someone is considering growing hemp, that they should talk and have those conversations with the people living around them.
Definitely, because there's those misconceptions, it's good to talk with your neighbors that maybe aren't aware of what industrial hemp is and that type of thing. They may mistake it for marijuana. But other than that too, because we have so many additional growers this year and people that are kind of more neighbors than maybe they had last year that were growing hemp, what we have found out is that especially if you're growing for CBD oil production, if your crop is pollinated by, say, industrial hemp for grain or for fiber, if that plant is pollinated for CBD, that CBD production actually goes down dramatically. So another interesting thing an incentive for knowing your neighbors is to kind of be aware of that. There are some things that you could do. You could plant some corn along the perimeter of your field to try to put a break and protection from pollination that may occur. So that's something they can do, but definitely talking with your neighbors, knowing which fields are near you, what they're growing the industrial hemp for is very important as well. And
you've created a resource, because one of the challenges last year in the pilot program was connecting processors with growers, seed distributors. You guys have now made that a little easier.
Yes, so about a few weeks ago, the industrial hemp website for UW Extension was launched, and so you can find that website. And one of the features of the website is that anybody can go online, fill out a form with their information to be added to the directory, so that processors, growers, retailers alike can go on that website and find others and get connected. So that's a resource that can be available, because currently under the Department of Ag's law for industrial hemp, the Department of Ag cannot share out information about growers and processors. That information is confidential. But what they have said is that growers and processors and others can opt in voluntarily, share their information with others. It's just that the Department of Ag cannot facilitate that. So Extension, we're trying to help people make connections that way.
Well, the easiest way to do that is on the website that we're about to show you. You can also check out future events, because you're hosting many seminars and things to help people out decide if hemp is a crop that could be grown on your farm. Here's a look at those resources. We'll be right back.